अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणं कृष्णदामोदरं वासुदेवं हरिं श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिकावल्लभं जानकीनायकं रामचन्द्रं भजे अच्युतं केशवं सत्यभामाधवं माधवं श्रीधरं राधितं इन्दिरामन्दिरं चेतसा सुन्दरं देवकी नन्दनं नन्दजं सन्ददे
समारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् नारायणं परो व्यक्तादण्डमव्यक्तसम्भवम् अण्डस्यान्तस्त्रिमे लोका सप्तद्वीपा च मे दिवे भगवान् वाच इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञेति तद्विदः. So in this 13th chapter Bhashyam, we were discussing the Yavat Sanjayate Kinchit Sattvam Stavar Jangamam Kshetra Kshetragna Sanyogat Tadvidhi Bharatarshava. So in this shloka, what it means is Yavat Sanjayate Kinchit Sattvam Stavar Jangamam. What is born, whether it is moving or unmoving, all that is because of the mixing up of the kshetram and the kshetrajna. Actually, the two cannot mix up at all because they are of completely different nature. The mixing up is impossible, but yet the Vedanta Shastra says that the coming into being jivas, that is the embodiment of jivas, clearly shows us that the kshetram and the kshetrajna, even though they are two different, completely different entities, the coming into being of the jiva shariram is only because of the wrong identification of the kshetrajna with the kshetra. So that's what the shloka means. So here, the discussion was initiated by Bhagavad Gita, and he said that unless adhyasa is there, Kshetra Sanyoga. Sanyoga is definitely a contact. Actually, Sanyoga means literally contact, physical contact. But then the contact, such a contact is impossible because Kshetrajna, that is a pure consciousness, it cannot contact with anything because it is not a physical object. So that being the case, the contact, what is mentioned here is actually adhyasa, that is the wrong identification. That's what is meant by the term sanyoga here. And Bhagavad gives the example of Rajashuktikadina, Viveka Jnana Abhavat. That is, the Raju is the rope and the Sarpa is the one which is superimposed on it. And Shuktika is the shell and silver is superimposed on that. So these things happen only because of the non-discrimination at that juncture between the rope and the snake and the shell and the silver. At other junctures, other situations, the person will be able to clearly distinguish between the rope and the snake. But here, because of certain conditions, he is not able to discriminate between the rope and the imagined snake. So here what is happening is, the rope is what he is actually seeing with his eyes, but not recognizing it as rope because of some reasons like insufficient light or sufficient some defect in his eye and all that. He is not able to see the rope as rope and imagines it as snake. So this is also the wrong non-discrimination between the actual thing there and the thing imagined is resulting in the error. So saha ayam adhyasa swarupaha kshetra kshetrajna sanyogaha mithya jnana lakshanaha. So Bhagavad Gita very clearly declares here that this adhyasa swarupaha, that is kshetra kshetrajna sanyogaha, the sanyoga, there is a contact between the kshetram, that is the inner Prakriti, and kshetrajna, that is the sentient pure consciousness. The contact between these two is of the nature of adhyasa swarupa, kshetrajna sanyoga, and it is of the nature of wrong knowledge, that is mithya jnana lakshanaha. Mithya jnana is mithya cha tad ajnanam cha mithya jnana. So ajnanam is there, and that ajnanam is qualified to be mithya. It is not real. If it were real, then that ajnana would not have gone at all, would not be going at all because of right knowledge. So it is mithya jnana. It's not pure plain ajnana. It is mithya. That ajnana is mithya. Then Bhagavad Gita continues here. Yatha shastram kshetrajna lakshana bheda parijnana purvakam rādashita rūpāt kshetrat munjādiva ishikām yatokta lakshanam kshetram tavivachya nasatan nasadichyate ityanena grasta sarvopādi vishesham neyam brahmasvarupena pashiti. So the remedial jnanam is being spoken of here. The error occurred because of taking the sarpa, that is the serpent, and the rope as one, that is as non-different. See, here there is a paradox kind of thing. In Advaita Vedanta, taking something as different from one another is the cause of ajnana, cause of samsara, and the remedy is to see everything as one. But here, in this kind of a case, it is the opposite. Taking the rope and the snake to be the same or one, non-different is the cause of samsara, and the remedial knowledge is knowing clearly that the rope is completely distinct from the snake. So that knowledge of Veda Jnanam is required here, whereas Aveda Jnanam is the cause of samsara or error or Brahma, and Veda Jnanam is the remedial one here. So this is one thing we can note. So Yatha Shastra means as the Shastra teaches us to discriminate between the Prakriti and the Purusha. The discrimination between Prakriti and Purusha is not known through any other source than the Vedanta Shastra. So Yatha Shastram Kshetrajna Lakshanam Veda Parijnana Purvakam. So the Veda between the Kshetram and the Kshetrajna, Veda Parijnana and Lakshana, that is the Lakshana of Kshetram and the Lakshana of Kshetrajna has to be known, and the distinction between these two has to be clearly discerned, clearly known. Veda Parijnana Purvakam Prak Dashita Rupat Kshetrat. So the Kshetra has been defined before as Mahabhutanyahankaro Buddhir Abhyaktamevacha Indriyani Dashaikancha Panchacha Indriya Gocharaha Ichadvesha Sukham Dukam Sankata Chetana Dhriti Iti Kshetram Samasena Savikaram Davatam. So in those two shlokas, virtually one of shlokas, 3 lines, the entire Kshetra was defined, and the entire gamut of the cosmos, including the individual person, his body-mind complex, and the outside world of Shabda Sparsha Rupa, and most importantly, the emotions like desire, anger, etc., which occur in the Antakaranam, that is the mind, that also has been taken as Kshetram only by the Vedanta Shastra. Kshetram, that is inner Prakriti. So, Yathatashita Rupat Kshetrat Munjadiva Ishikam Yathokta Lakshanam Kshetragnam Tadivajya. Very carefully Bhagavad Gita is giving so much of information here. He is giving the analogy of separating or extracting the pit portion of the from the grass called munja. So munja is a grass, and in it, by making a lateral section, a person will be able to extract the pit. The pit is the one which runs through the munja grass, and it will be a very soft one, and it has to be very carefully removed. And if there is any mistake, then what happens? The soft, pitty part, that is the ishika, will break or it will be damaged. So, munjadiva ishika. So here the idea is that kshetram is the prakriti part, and the ishika is the kshetrajna, that is the chaitanya. So the chaitanyam has got mixed up with the prakriti body-mind complex, and here it has to be very carefully discriminated. It's an intellectual exercise. No physical separation is possible at all, and it has to be very carefully done, because any mistake in this separation can lead to the person concluding that the mind or the ego, which are also appearing as sentient entities, they can be mistakenly taken to be the self. So that's why he is making so much of caveats here. So, or that will be very cautiously done. Jadiva Ishikam, Yatokta Lakshanam Kshetram, Kshetrajnam Pranvajya. So the Kshetram or Kshetram has been defined, and the Kshetrajna also has been defined, and the shloka of this Kshetrajna has been cited here by Bhagavad Gita from this chapter itself. Na satyam nasuduchyate maha. This Kshetrajna Anadimat Param Brahma Nasattan Nasuduchyate. So it is Anadimat Param Brahma. It is neither stated to be Sat nor Asat. And the Sat and Asat, they belong to the two categories are possible only in created things. Like, for example, a pot before it's created or produced cannot be said to be Sat, existent, and after its destruction also it cannot be said to be existent. So that way Brahman can never be said to be existent in that manner. And naturally Brahman will never go out of existence, so it is not Asat also. So na sattan na suchyate ityanena nirasta sarvopadi vishesham. So what this shloka means there is that Brahman is totally free from all upadis. Ityanena nirasta sarvopadi vishesham neyam, that is the name, that is the one to be known, realized. And how? Brahma Swarupena. So that Kshetrajna, Bhagavad Gita is indicating in no unmistakable terms the Mahavakya here. So the shloka itself, this chapter started with the statement that this body or the Kshetram is the one which is the object, and the subject which is aware of the body object is Kshetrajna, and that is the sentient part of it, that is the pure consciousness. And the second shloka, Bhagavan said that Kshetrajnam chapi maam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. So in every body is available the knower of the body. So the knower of the body is not somewhere outside the body, it is inside the body only, and it is the one which is illuminating the entire body-mind complex, and through that the outside world also. So this Kshetrajna is the sentient part of it. And the one has to be one. So very clearly in the second shloka clearly stated that the Kshetrajna is a jiva, and also that it is non-distinct from Brahman, because Bhagavan says that Kshetrajnam chapi maam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. That is, in every body, the consciousness principle obtaining in every body is not different from me, the Brahman. So here Bhagavad Gita is recalling that, and very nicely says that the Kshetrajna has to be known to be Brahman. So Brahma Swarupena ya pashyati. So aham brahmasmi, that jnanam is required here. Kshetram cha maya nirmita hasti swaruptopna swapnadrishta vastu gandharva nagaradivate asadeva sadiva avabhasate iti evam nishchita vijnanaha yaha tasya yatokta samyak darshana virodhate apagachyati vidyajnanam. So the entire spiritual journey is being encapsulated by Bhagavad Gita in these 2-3 lines. So Brahma Swarupena Pashyati and Kshetrajna. So here there are two things involved here. Kshetrajna should be known to be non-different from oneself and non-different from Brahman, and the Kshetram should be known to be non-existent. So Kshetram he is giving so many analogies for that. It is so here. It is not something like the barren woman's son or the Gagana Kusuma or the other analogies are given, like a hare's horn and all that. No, they are all absolutely non-existent, so they cannot even appear to be existent. Whereas these things which Bhagavad Gita gives us analogy, Maya Nirmita Asti, that is, a magician creates an elephant for the people to see, the spectators to see and enjoy. So they will be awestruck when this person creates an elephant, where there was nothing at all on the road there before. So Maya Nirmita Asti. Then Swapna Drishta Vastu. So whatever objects seen in the dream, upon waking, they will be known to be non-existent even when they were perceived. The same case with this Maya Nirmata Hasti also. So when seeing that, they are enamored by that. But once the show is over, when they think of it, they will know that even at the time of their seeing it and enjoying it, the Hasti was not there really. So in the same case with the Swapna Drishta Vastu also. Then the third example is Nagara, Gandharva Nagara. Gandharva Nagara is the formation of the clouds in a particular way that the onlooker will imagine it to be a palace or some people marching and some devatas and things like that. But then it is not there. With some, in a few moments, the clouds will get scattered and the whole imagination goes off. So Gandharva Nagaradivate, Adipadena, so many other things also can be taken. So Gandharva Nagaradivate, then Bhagavad Gita articulates how it has to be known by the aspirant. Asadeva Sadiva Avbasate. Asadeva, that which is non-existent, alone appears to be existent. So Asadeva Sat Iva. What is Asad is appearing to be Sativa Avbasate. It is appearing to be as though it is existent. So what is non-existent really is appearing as though it is existent. So this is how a person has to do mananam and come to the conclusion that the whatever is objectified by him or object to the consciousness that he is really both at the level of the body-mind complex and the outside world is Asadeva Sadiva Avabhasate. Iti evam Nishchita Vijnanaha. So here the firm conviction, Nishchita Vijnanaha, has happened to him. Yaha Tasya Yatokta Samyak Darshana Virodhat. So for him this knowledge is firmly rooted in him, and as a result of that Shriti Mithya Jnanam, the Mithya Jnanam, that is considering oneself to be the body-mind complex and undergoing the process of all undergoing the ups and downs of samsara and suffering and enjoying and all that, and being born again and again. So this is samsara. So that Mithya Jnanam, which is at the root of this samsara, goes. And Bhagavad Gita also says one more thing here. Yatokta Samyak Darshana Virodhat. So this Samyak Darshanam, that is the right knowledge, is an antidote. It is a virodha to the Mithya Jnanam. So the Mithya Jnanam will continue till such time the Samyak Darshanam arises. So once it arises, the Mithya Jnanam no longer can stand the power of this Jnanam, so it simply vanishes. Tasya Janmahetoho Apagamate Yadevam Vetti Purusham Prakritim Cha Gunaissaha Ityanena Vidvan Bhuyahana Vidayate Ityat Uttam Tate Upamanna Uttam. So he concludes this Bhashya by recalling the earlier sloka, Evam Vetti Purusham, 23rd sloka, Evam Vetti Purusham Prakritim Cha Gunaissaha Sarvata Vartamanopi Nasa Bhuyopi Jayate. So whoever realizes this Purusha, that is Brahman and Prakriti, in the way it has been stated in the taught in this chapter, such a person, even though his conduct will be of whatever nature, he will not be born again. So that is sloka. So now Bhagavad Gita had raised an objection. How can you say that such a person will not be born again? So he is now concluding that discussion in this sloka and saying, Tasya Janma Hetoho Apagamad. So what is the Janma Hetu? The immediate Janma Hetu is the cause of transmigration or Janma or birth. Is the immediate cause is karma. And the cause of karma is Ragadvesha. And the cause of Ragadvesha is Moha. And the cause of Moha is this Adhyasa, taking the body-mind complex to be oneself. So the Samyak Jnanam cuts at the root of this Mithya Jnanam, and through that the effects of this Mithya Jnanam also are rendered incapable of giving this person or perpetuating samsara for this person. So Tasya Janma Hetoho Apagamat. So the Janma Hetu is Mithya Jnanam, and that goes Yaha Evam Vetti Purusham Prakritim Cha Gunaissaha. In that sloka, whatever Bhagavan has said, Ityanena Vidvan Bhuyaha Na Avijayate. That is, the knower of the Brahman and the knower of the Prakriti, she will never be born again. Bhuyaha Na Avijayate iti yatuttam That's Upamannamuktam, that is quite reasonable. So about the Upapatti, that is the reason for that is being given in the shloka, that this body-mind complex, taking the body-mind complex to be oneself, that is the root cause of the problem. And the remedy for that is to know the body as body-mind complex as Prakriti and oneself as pure consciousness, and also to know that the Prakriti is unreal. So this kind of a knowledge alone will make a person a liberated one. And what Bhagavan has said on this topic is quite in order. So Bhagavad Gita introduces the next shloka to these lines. Nasa bhuyo vijayate iti samyak darshana phalam avidyadi samsara bija nivritti dvarena janma bhava taha. So what has happened so far in this chapter is Nasa bhuyo vijayate, he will never be born again. Iti samyak darshana phalam. This is the fruit of the right knowledge. What is that? Avidyadi samsara bija nivritti dvarena janma bhava. So the fruit of the right knowledge is freedom from rebirth, or freedom from the cycle of birth and death. So, and that the reason for that cycle of birth and death is avidyadi avidya. So avidyadi samsara bija nivritti dvarena. So the avidyadi samsara bija is avidyadi adipadena avidya, kama and karma. That's how the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad has taught. First there is avidya about one's own true nature, and that results in his taking himself to be a finite entity, and the innate nature in him to make himself somehow purna, that is infinite, urges him to desire something from the outside of himself, acquire something that is from some outside of himself, and making himself somehow finite or purnam. And as a result of that, or to attain or to acquire something what he has desired, he has to work, he has to perform karma, and that karma will be of the nature of dharma or adharma, and that will give him further. So this is the series, sequence. So avidyadi samsara bija nivritti dvarena janma bhava uttaha. Janma karanam cha avidya nimittakaha kshetra kshetra sanyogaha uttaha. And what is the janma karanam? Avidya nimittakaha. That is, that it is the result of avidya, that is kshetra kshetra sanyogaha, taking the kshetra to be non-different from the kshetrajna. That also has been stated. Adaha tasyaha avidyayaha nivartakam samyak darshanam uktamapi punaha shabdantarena uchyate. So tasyaha avidyayaha nivartakam samyak darshanam, the right knowledge which has been stated as the disteller of the wrong knowledge, avidya or the ignorance, even though it has been stated before, it is being stated again. Punaha shabdantarena uchyate, in different words, or they rephrased the whole thing. What has been stated before is rephrased here in this shloka. And in the second chapter of the Gita, Bhagavad Gita has said that in these matters, one should not raise the defect of tautology. Tautology is repeating or saying the same thing again and again. That kind of a defect, that is punarukti, that it's not a dosha here. In other places it might be a dosha, but not here, because this shastra itself is very terse, and the topic which is dealing with also is terse, and so it has to be, there is a need for reiterating in different methods, giving different analogies, different modes of teaching, and all that is required, because the ignorance pertaining to this knowledge is so very thick. It has to be repeated in so many ways so that the aspirant gets to know the right thing. So adaha tasyaha avidyayaha nivartakam samyak darshanam uktamapi, even though it has been stated, punaha shabdantarena uchyate. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu isthantam parameshwaram vinashyatsu avinashyantam yat pashyati sa pashyati. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu. This Brahman, Parameshwaram, by Parameshwara it is not the Saguna Brahman, it is Nirguna Brahman. Bhagavad Gita has used this very word in his Brahmasutra Bhashya also to exactly unmistakably know that the context is Nirguna Brahman alone. Parameshwara Prakriyaya cites all the Nirguna Brahman passages from the Upanishads. So sarvam samam sarveshu bhuteshu. Samam is it is in the it is obtaining or present in all jivas in the same manner. It is not that in an ant it is less and in an elephant it is more. No, that is not the idea. The same Brahman, which is the substratum for the ant imagination, or the ant imagining itself as an ant, and the same Brahman, which is substratum for the elephant imagining itself to be an elephant, that substratum doesn't change from being to being. And a very nice example or a popular example of this concept in this Gita itself is the 5th chapter. Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shunichaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. So that Sama Shabda is there also. So there the extremes are shown. At one extreme there is the Vidya Vinaya Sampanna Brahmana, and at the other extreme there is the totally Samskara Hina Chandala. So Gavi Shunichaiva Swapakecha. So in between, the cow is taken, the elephant is taken, the dog is taken, and all of these have different gunas and all that. But then in all of them, Brahman is present in the same way. It is not that it's one more in one and the less in other. Only thing is, in the case of the Samskaravanta Brahmana, the Brahman, that person, because of the samskara in his mind apparatus, is able to recognize Brahman in a better way. Whereas the other creatures, which are devoid of this samskara, they also recognize Brahman in the way that they all realize that they exist. So that existence is definitely the property of Brahman, and they all realize that they are all sentient. No, none of these creatures think that it is insentient or jada, like a stone. These things are there. But then in the case of a person with more samskara, this manifestation of the Brahman in his antakarana will be more. That's the only difference. Otherwise, Brahman is present in all of them in the same way. That is the idea conveyed here. So we'll take up the Bhashyam of this in the next class. Shastram Sharira Mimamsa Devastu Parameshwaraha Acharya Shankaracharya Santune Janma Janmani Kshetrajnam Chapi Mam Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata Kshetrajnayo Jnanam Yatta Jnanam Yatam Mama Ragum Divekhinam Vedant Dande Vedanta Chatrajnam Vidushe Karabharati